what's up? Skib137 coming at you with the 12th edition of the Goalkeeper News. Today I'm planning on talking to you about the African Cup of Nations and how I feel it affects teams within the Premier League and whether that can cause things like championships to be lost and stuff like that. So if you aren't aware of the competition, the African Cup of Nations, as it is, it's the African countries. It's like the Euros or the Asian World Championships. It's where every country from Africa compete in groups, or I think it's knockout phases, to win obviously the African Cup of Nations. Last year I believe I think it was Zambia who won it. I'm not entirely sure because I only caught glimpses of it. But obviously, unlike the Euros, the African Cup of Nations occurs halfway through the Premier League season, the La Liga season, the Italian League seasons. So it can have teams within those leagues lose key members of the teams. Obviously, for example, Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure from Man City, Gervinho from Arsenal. I can't remember. I can't really remember many other players from African teams that play in the Premier League. Obviously, if Didier Drogba was still at the Premier League, he would play for the Ivory Coast. There are other players. Obviously, I'm not very good with players' names apart from obviously Man City and goalkeepers, because of obviously being Man City team support and being a goalkeeper. I know a lot of goalkeepers, but I do feel, although I can see why the African Cup of Nations occurs when it occurs, I think it can be quite a hindrance for some teams in the Premier League. Obviously, Yaya Toure is a key figure now for Manchester City in that midfield. He can completely run the show in midfield, but with losing him to the African Cup of Nations, it's going to be a massive blow for City because they're not going to have that driving force in midfield. Obviously, they've got Sami Nasri, David Silva, Gareth Barry, Javi Garcia. None of them are the player like Yaya Toure, who can be both an attacking and a defending midfielder. And he's got strength, pace, and he's incredibly tall. So I feel City are going to miss that. Obviously, Kolo Toure doesn't play as much for City, but he's recently come in for the past 2 games with Vincent Kompany having his injury, and he's done pretty well to say. He's not played for a while. Obviously, Gervinho leaving Arsenal, quite a lot, if I'm honest, from my friends that are Arsenal fans. They're quite happy about it because they see him as not the best player to play up front, although he's had an alright Premier League season, but he's, well, in my opinion, a very erratic player. He'll one game play like there's no tomorrow, and then the next game he won't know what football is and he won't know what he's doing. But obviously Arsenal are still losing players, so if all their forwards get injured, they've not got any spare. So yeah, obviously last year we could see with obviously Yaya Toure being missing, City did, as I said, miss that driving force in midfield, which could have cost them the title, but they didn't, luckily. So that's all I can really say about the African Cup of Nations. Obviously, I've not got as much information about it as like the Euros or the World Cup, but that's because I don't know many African players. Obviously, I know that sounds quite bad, but it will happen, but oh well. So yeah, leave me your thoughts and feelings on the topic of this video in the comment section down below. So, what you think about the African Cup of Nations? Will it ever match up to the Euros or the World Cup, in your opinion? But it's been your boy Skib137, and I hope you enjoyed the video.